Hey, how's it going? Eden from A Moment of Zen, and in my previous video, I gave you my secret for a super amazing life. And the secret was to get happy. So now you're probably wondering, how do I get happy? How is that so easy? I'm miserable right now. It can happen. Because I was once like that. I was once super miserable and negative and the victim of life and woe was me and look at me and gossip and drama. And life was hard. Life felt like a struggle. And even though, like, looking back, it really wasn't as hard as I felt like it was at the time, I made it harder than it needed to be just by being in that kind of headspace. So if you really want to learn to change, then you need to be open to hearing these things. You need to be open to understanding your role in your life. It's so easy to brush off or push off the responsibility for your feelings onto everybody else and circumstances, and that's not the case. It may seem like it. It may seem like that person did something and now I'm in a bad mood, but it's kind of backwards, okay? Yeah, somebody can do something and you might not like it, but it's you that is determining the mood. So you can observe a behavior and go ahead and be like, that just pisses me off. I'm going to talk about it and complain and tell everybody. Or you can observe it and say, okay, I'm not a fan of that, and move on. It's your choice because it's your vibration. Where do you want your vibration to be? Now, if you are used to being in a negative space all the time where there's lots of complaining and woe is me, it might take you a while to break that habit. It's a habit. It's a habit to just wallow in that negative emotion. And it's an easy habit to maintain because not only do you have the momentum built up because you've done it so long, but if you've noticed, when you can make yourself feel bad, like if you're beating up on yourself, there's a physical sensation that goes along with that. And for whatever reason, that is an addictive, it's almost like an addiction. You're almost like you're addicted to that sensation. Whether it's, I'm not really sure why. I'm sure there's some sort of research and psychological background on it, but I don't feel like doing any of that research right now. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I know that if I can make myself feel bad in some way, shape, or form, I'll feel that physical sensation. And even though it feels terrible, it's like at least I can feel something. See, what I think happens is when you wallow in all that negative emotion, you kind of get numb to what it feels like to feel good. And you kind of feel nothing. And so when you can feel bad, you can physically feel something. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it felt for me before I started really turning things around. And now it feels so good to feel good. And it feels so good to feel good for the littlest, silliest things. And those little silly things turn into big things to feel good about. And it's just amazing. It feels so much better than wallowing in that self-pity and self-misery. So it takes some practice, but you can do it. Just if I were to give you any sort of tip, it's just to really be mindful of the thoughts you're thinking and practice catching those negative or icky feeling thoughts early before they really grab a hold and you, next thing you know, you're riding that train of negativity. It really takes practice. So start practicing. And don't beat up on yourself if you've caught yourself too far down the line. It's okay. It takes some practice and you'll get there. And eventually, with enough practice, there'll be a change, a switch, a tipping point where now it'll be easier and easier to reach for those good feeling thoughts and those icky feeling thoughts will come less frequently. But you just need to practice and trust that the process is working. Okay? Sometimes it's real subtle and it doesn't feel like it's working. It feels like nothing's happening. If anything, maybe you're maintaining some sort of thing, but it's working. So just keep at it, keep practicing, keep trying, don't give up, and don't beat up on yourself if you fall back, because it's a process and it takes practice. And I love you, and I hope that helped. And so go think some happy thoughts. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.